There is one area in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania that tends to be one of the most popular, most sought after locations in the entire county, all of Lancaster. And that area is Manheim Township. And in this video, we are going to be breaking down everything you need to know about Manheim Township, what makes it so great, what's not so great about it, and it all starts right now. If it's your first time to this YouTube channel, thank you so much. We are living in Lancaster, and do me a favor, hit the thumbs up on this video if you find this video informative. If you've got something out of it, just do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, and of course, subscribe to our channel. We are making YouTube content all the time, all about Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and we'd love for you to get alerted as soon as new videos are produced. So again, thumbs up on the video and subscribe with the alarm bell, which will alert you, send you a notification as soon as new videos are produced. And if you're coming back to this channel, welcome back. Thank you so much again for watching this video. My name is Matt Moore with the Moore Group. We are a real estate team based right here in the beautiful Lancaster, PA. And we are helping people all the time who are moving to and relocating within right here in the beautiful Lancaster County area. And if that's you, we'd love to have a conversation with you. So I'm going to put our information here up on the screen. Call, text, email, it does not matter. We'd love to get in contact with you. As I always say, smoke signal, carrier pigeon. Again, it doesn't matter. We are here to be a resource and a guide for you on this journey, whether you're moving to the Lancaster area from outside or if you're moving within Lancaster, if you're trying to move up, move down, whatever the case might be, we are here to help you with that process. We'd love to have that conversation with you. So please reach out. We'll have more information on how you can research us and how you can find out more about what we are all about at the end of this video. But again, this video is all about one area and one area in particular. And the question becomes, is it the best suburb in all of Lancaster? That's what we're talking about, so let's jump right into the data. Manheim Township, the township that everybody seems to be talking about. It is incredibly popular, very sought after right here in Lancaster County. But what makes it so great? Well, first of all, we'll get to some of the good and the bad, but we are going to quickly talk about where is Manheim Township in relation to Lancaster City. It is a geographic location, but it is not a postal address. So you will have a broad area that does include multiple postal addresses, including Lidditz and Lancaster, but it is its own geographic place with its own zoning, its own regulations, and of course its own township offices. The location of Manheim Township is just to the north of Lancaster City, bordering the city limits on the northern side. And as you get on the northwest side of town near Franklin and Marshall, there's these little pockets of Manheim Township here and there, which is important as a real estate agent guiding our clients, because there are some areas where you can go one block to the next and then to the next, and you can go from Lancaster City Township to Manheim Township, back to Lancaster Township, just depending on where you are at. So again, different zoning regulations, totally different areas. But as such, it does cover a large area on the northern side of Lancaster City. And that is a big reason why it is so desirable, so sought after, because it is close proximity to downtown Lancaster, where you can get a great bite to eat. You can head into downtown, and if, again, Lancaster City being a foodie town and a lot of things to do, you can go check out, have a great night out on the town. But you're still far enough away that it acts like its own separate, unique entity. And you do also have close access to Lidditz. You have access to some of the rural areas on the outlying locations. And you, most importantly, have access to Route 30 and Route 222, which are main corridors right here in Lancaster County. 30 eventually splits off and turns into Route 283, which will take you up to the Harrisburg area. So any of those things can take you where you want to go. Manheim Township is in the heart of it all, and that's one of the reasons why people love it so much. But I think what mainly, especially if you're a local here and you know the Manheim Township area well, or you're doing your research, one thing that continues to come up over and over again about Manheim Township is the school and the school district itself, Manheim Township School District. If you go to niche.com, which is a great ranking and aggregate website, it helps to kind of give you some real hard and fast data with regards to school districts in the Lancaster County area. Manheim Township perennially, year after year after year, either ranks in the number 1 or the number 2 spot. As of latest check, it's coming in at the number 1 spot for the top school district in all of Lancaster County. And of course, you can look at the data yourself on niche.com, student to teacher ratios, average SAT scores, makeups of the classrooms, average graduation percentages, all of those kinds of things. And you can figure out for yourself if this is the right place for you. That being said, Manheim Township is known as a phenomenal school district, one of the best ones, not only in Lancaster County for sure, but also in the state of Pennsylvania. So rest assured, from that perspective, you're making a good choice by thinking about or moving to within the Manheim Township area. Now, if you are of retirement age, and there are some retirement communities nearby, 55 plus, and of course, other communities, a lot of rancher style homes and things like that. So if you're thinking about that, your retirement age, I urge you to consider school districts still being important. You may not have kids, or they've flown the coop, or whatever the case might be, but it's still important because at some point in time, you will probably want to sell that home. And if you're in a good school district, one of the best in the entire county and in a phenomenal area, your value will be protected more so than it will be outside. So again, economic factors on a national scale, that doesn't really matter all that much because you get into a great area and we'll continue to see price improvements and appreciation as long as the macro market continues to hold steady or move right along. So that makes things desirable from a home ownership perspective, investing in an area that you know is an extremely desirable area and has been for decades. Now, one thing that you should know about Manheim Township is that it's not filled with a bunch of strip malls. There's not heavily commercialized. It is very suburban. Just outside of Lancaster City, again, now the farther south you go, closer to Lancaster City, the more of those commercial type of structures you will see, including Belmont Shopping Center, which is one of the largest and newest shopping centers right here in the Lancaster area. Great restaurants, including Harvest. If you have a chance to go check out Harvest, a really good, strong recommendation here from the Moore Group for a good bite to eat. But there's other stores in there too, and that's on the southern side of Manheim Township. Farther north you go, though, and you can see that right here on the map, the more suburban it becomes. Sidewalks, neighborhoods, homes, and yes, of course, people that live there. Manheim Township itself is not necessarily known for having large plots of land still remaining. It is pretty developed at this point in time because it is the first township in Lancaster County. It was established back in the early 1700s. It was second only to Lancaster City itself. So again, you know, it is older, it's been around for a long time, and it has been developed over those hundreds of years. And as such, there's not like a big swath of land there. So you're not seeing rural locations in Manheim Township. Generally speaking, Manheim Township is pretty developed. Great central location. You're about halfway between Lidditz and also Lancaster City. So you get the advantages of both worlds. Getting up to Lidditz for a night on the town or heading into downtown for some entertainment, it doesn't matter. Or you can do both in the same night. You're in a great location to do that and still get home within 10, 15 minutes or so. So again, nice location from that perspective. Manheim Township on the southern side also contains the county's main Amtrak station. And that Amtrak station, you can hop on the train on the Keystone line and it will take you all the way into Philadelphia, which eventually into New York and so on and so forth. So you can get anywhere you want to go with that Amtrak station nearby being in Manheim Township. Of course, there's also public transportation, Red Rose Transit that heads up through their bus schedules. You can see they're on their website, Red Rose Transit, to find out what bus routes are around. But again, Manheim Township, again, it's got that core. You're in and close to the city, but you're not quite the city. So you can be outside of it, still have suburbia if you like that. But again, you're still in the middle of it all. Manheim Township has a long history of population growth, and that has, again, led to that desirability. Year after year after year, there is a net influx of people coming into Manheim Township. Not a whole lot of people leaving because it is so desirable. So because of that popularity and because of how sought after it is, well, real estate prices, they continue to go up. And it is one of the more expensive places to buy a home in the Lancaster County area. Now, if you're a homeowner though, that also means that your home value is going to appreciate more. And that is certainly what we've seen over the last couple of years. And I have been tracking these percentages where some areas are 5 to 10% year over year home value appreciation. Manheim Township has been, especially in the last couple of years, on the order of 15 to 20% year over year home value appreciation because it is such a desirable area. Now, again, we also have, because it's so desirable, because everyone wants to be there, home values keep going up. So not necessarily a lot in the way of affordable housing whatsoever. I think it's more so on the higher end. If you're looking for a 4-bed, 2.5 bath home, and this is right in our wheelhouse here, the real estate team, you're probably looking at $500,000 at least or higher. That being said, there are some cheaper communities. Grandview Heights is another one in the northeast side of town. You don't necessarily have to pay the big price tag for a big home. Maybe you don't need that much square footage or that big of a yard. Maybe you need something a little bit more modest. And in that case, that would be one of the neighborhoods I would also consider. But if you're looking for more square footage, a larger, nicer home, or maybe you're considering a golf course or gated community, you can find some of the most prestigious ones right here in Lancaster County in Manheim Township. For example, Bent Creek, the only gated community in Lancaster. And if you want more information about Bent Creek, I encourage you to check out my driving tour of the 6 most popular neighborhoods in Lancaster County. I do highlight the Bent Creek area in that video. But as I was saying, is that, you know, these homes in there are 700, 800, 900,000, up to $1.5 million or more in that neighborhood. So you can see that the pricing definitely goes up in and around the Bent Creek area. Also around Lancaster Country Club, home values are definitely higher for sure. Manheim Township is a great place to live. We know that the schools are good. We know that the location's phenomenal for access to Route 30 and 283, 222. And of course, the real estate continues to appreciate. But there are some bad things, and some things you should know if you're considering about moving to the Manheim Township area. First and foremost, with all those people and all that influx, and unfortunately some of the limited infrastructure that we have here in the Lancaster County area because of that population growth, traffic can be a little bit of a headache in some cases. Now, once you're a local here, you get to know the system, you get to know the ins and outs of the roads. You learn to avoid pretty quickly which roads at which times. But some of the main pikes, Fruitville, Manheim Pike, Lidditz Pike, even parts of Oregon Pike, can get pretty backed up. And these are main north-south routes from Lancaster City on north that do travel through Manheim Township. So again, you kind of get to know these areas pretty well, but because the infrastructure is always lagging behind, this is not just a Lancaster thing, this is everywhere across the country, infrastructure always lags behind what's actually happening. There are, though, some projects in the works, including the expansion project on Route 30, 222 corridor, which right now is hanging everything up in the Lancaster area, but eventually will be very nice once it has completed, hopefully very, very soon. They're expecting in the next couple of years. But still, traffic in Manheim Township can get busy. The farther north you go, though, the less likely you are to deal with heavy traffic. The farther south to Lancaster, the heavier the traffic volume gets. Yeah, because everyone wants to be there, there's just simply not enough homes either. That's another downside. Supply cannot keep up with demand, and that is leading to a shortfall in housing, which is also leading to really extreme competitive situations in a lot of cases in the Manheim Township area. So just be aware of that. If you're planning on buying a home, if you're not looking at new construction, there's a decent chance that you're going to be in a competition for a good home in a good school district. Not necessarily always the case, but in Manheim Township, more often than not, that's what we are seeing, which kind of lends into another point I'm going to make, which is making sure you get partnered up with a great real estate team or a real estate agent that knows the market, knows it well. We'd love to help you out with that. More info on how to reach out to us at the end of this video. Now, one last thing I want to talk about when it comes to Manheim Township is that unlike some of the other surrounding areas, the zoning and the regulations within Manheim Township are pretty strict. In fact, one of the most strict I've seen in all of Lancaster County, if not in the entire state of Pennsylvania. Now, this can be good and bad, right? So you can, depending on what's your viewpoint, it can be good from the standpoint of, hey, I'm building a home and I really need to make sure that this home is built solidly. Rest assured, Manheim Township is going to stay on top of it and make sure that home is built throughout multiple steps in the process exactly or even better than what common construction code, universal construction code standards dictate nowadays. So that's the good news, keeping tabs on things. Where it can hang things up is especially if you buy an older home that isn't necessarily been, adopted into the modern building codes or the modern requirements of today's day and age and what the regulations are now. It could potentially handcuff you in your ability to maybe do renovations or expansions in the future. So it's always really a good idea if you're planning on doing these big projects, especially expansions, especially where you're taking more impervious coverage on your lot, to get in contact with the township early and often to make sure you understand what you have the ability to do, because the last thing you want to do is buy a home without having that conversation first, and it potentially ruins the entire transaction for you. You buy the home and all of a sudden you can't do anything with it, and that's what we want to prevent for you too as a real estate team, to make sure we understand your goals so we can help you navigate and guide it. Another thing that's interesting is that builders, while they like the idea of Manheim Township from the demand perspective, they know there will be buyers there. They absolutely despise the red tape that they have to go through on the builder, or I should say on the zoning side of things with Manheim Township. It slows things down, and in some cases it actually makes and takes away from the usable lots in those neighborhoods, because they have to put in these retention swales all over the place for stormwater management. Stormwater management's a good thing, but in this case it's actually taking away, because there are so many of them, it's taking away the usable yard space in these particular lots. So I think it's a little over the top in my opinion, but again, that's just my opinion. There are probably better ways to do it, but I think the township itself has really strict guidelines associated with it. So would I say it's the best suburb in all of Lancaster? I think that question is debatable, but I think it is certainly in the top 2 or top 3 conversation. It's definitely worth interpretation for sure. But again, I mean, your situation might be different. What's best for you might not be what's the best for what's considered the normal in terms of the top school districts or the top suburbs or whatever the case might be. So that's what we want to have that conversation with you. Reach out to us. Here's our information. Call, text, email. It does not matter. We want to be a resource and a guide right there for you. Also, don't forget to visit our website, themoregroup.lancaster.com. We have home buyer and home seller resources right there for you. You can check things out and learn more about who we are as a team and also how we can help you. More YouTube videos on there too. And of course, you can search for homes on our website as well. If that's not enough, you want to find out what other people are saying about us, do this for me. Go to Google, type in the More Group, and see those reviews. As it stands, we're 60 plus 5-star reviews and counting. Hopefully with you, it's 61. And that's a lot of other people that are in the same situation as you. Maybe they're moving from out of state to the area, or maybe they're in the area already and looking to sell and make a lateral move, whether that be a larger home, a downsizing move, or whatever the case might be for your particular situation. We do it all, and we help a lot of clients just like you in your situation. We'd love to help you too. Don't forget, while you're here, to thumbs up this video if you got some information out of this content, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let us also know in the comment section what you think. What am I missing? What do you know about Manheim Township that's good, bad, or just some important information that people should know? I encourage anybody watching this to go to the comment section, see what other people are saying, and I encourage you, if you know, to leave some comments and some feedback behind as well. My name is Matt Moore with the Moore Group, that real estate team based right here in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. If we have any questions, please let us know. We're here to be a resource and a guide for you.